In this tutorial, we're going to cover the adjustment brush tool. And to use that tool, we're going to work on this picture of this portrait. So let me go ahead and select that and open it in the develop module. As you can see, this is the image of a beautiful face. And the problem with the image obviously is that it's dull. What we want to do is use the adjustment brush tool, which is this tool right here, in order to enhance this picture. So let me go ahead and click on the adjustment brush tool. It's right under the histogram before the beginning of the basic panel. So this is the adjustment brush tool. I will click on that, and when I do, its own options open up right underneath. So before using the tool, as you can see, the minute I select it, the minute I click on the adjustment brush tool, if you hover over the picture, you see this these circles, which means the brush is active. But I'm not ready to use it yet. I'm just hovering, I'm not clicking. Because first of all, I want to set my values right here for each of these, the exposure, the brightness, the contrast, how much do I want each to be, and then I will go ahead and use the brush. So let me go ahead and set my values. I don't need any further exposure than what's there, so let's set that to 0. Let's set the brightness to something like -50 because it's already quite bright, and perhaps it's better to make it slightly darker. With regards to contrast, let's do something around 90. Same thing for saturation, and same thing for clarity. We want a lot of clarity, a lot of contrast here because they're both absent. With regards to sharpness, I will keep the value 62, around 62, 60 works fine. The brush size, let's use a big brush for now because we want to first of all cover the entire surface of the picture. So a 40 brush would work. And then feather means, when the edges of the brush are not sharp but they're feathered, like blurry. So that's 70, and I'll keep that. Flow 50 and density 100 is good. So these are the values that I entered, and with those values selected, I will now go ahead and hover over my image, and starting from the top right or wherever you want, just color, if you will, click and drag the way you would paint over a paper, and let your hand move over this picture. So I'm going to go ahead and do that without releasing my hand. Okay, and you notice two things. First of all, you notice a change. The image is much nicer now. It could take some more work, but it's much nicer. That's the first thing you notice. And the second thing you notice is this little black dot with a black stroke around it in the top left corner. What this means is basically this dot is telling me that on this picture the adjustment brush tool has been applied. So if you have like 5 of these dots, it means that the adjustment brush tool has been applied 5 times. We only applied it once here, that's why we only have 1. Now the other thing about this dot is when I hover over it, it shows me in a red transparent highlight which areas were actually affected by the brush. In other words, where did my hand go? Okay, so as you can see, it's almost over the whole picture, which is what I wanted. So if I'm happy with this result, I will go ahead and click on done. Okay, so I'm done with the first part, which is coloring the entire surface of the picture with the settings that I entered for my adjustment brush tool. The next thing I want to do is click again on the adjustment brush tool, which is what I just did, and now using a smaller brush, and I can get a smaller brush by dragging the slider down or just by hitting the bracket key on your keyboard. The left bracket will give you a smaller brush and the right bracket will give you a bigger brush. and now work individually with the eyes and lips and so forth. So this size is okay for the eyes. I'm going to go ahead and start painting, if you will, over the eyeshadow. Okay, I guess that's too much, so I'm going to undo what I did and try again. So passing over that section once is more than enough. Twice was too much. So there you go, you see another dot, which means the adjustment brush tool was applied one more time. I will apply the same thing for the second eye as well, and then again hit done. Okay, that's wonderful. Now again, select the adjustment brush tool and this time hover over the eyes, maybe with a smaller brush. So just color the eyes. Okay, and then click done. And then same thing for the lips. So again, I'll take the adjustment brush tool. Let me see the size of the brush. A slightly smaller brush than the iris. So just go over the lips, like this. Okay, my picture is much more interesting now. I'm going to hit done and do one more thing, basically the cheeks and perhaps the forehead a bit. So this time I need a bigger brush, and I will hover over this section just to add some, and then the cheeks. It's like wearing makeup a bit. Okay, and then slightly the chin right here, and that's enough. And when I'm done, I will again click on this done little button. Let me show you one thing. If you wish to go back to your original state, you can click on this little tiny squarish icon, which will take you back to seeing how your picture was, and then click back on it to see the final result. So remember that the adjustment brush tool allows you to enhance parts of a picture, and when you hover over that particular area that you went over, as you can see, this is the forehead, the cheeks, and the chin. It highlights that section for you in red so that you know basically if you missed something, you can go over it one more time. When you're done, you just click on done and you get a nice picture.